The scene opens as the two best friends, Wade and Ryan, talk with each other on their phones. Wade is a skinny teen who has a trusting nature. On the other hand, Ryan is the complete opposite, as he is overweight and a loudmouth. Both of them discuss what they could do to appear nonchalant and cool on their first day of high school. They are extremely nervous and hope that things will be different this year. Ryan wants Wade to call him T-Dog. Wade's stepfather bursts into his room and makes him hang up on Ryan. He instructs Wade to sleep and rudely calls him a nerd, before leaving. Drilbit is a homeless guy who begs for money on the streets. He has various tricks up his sleeves, but most people see through them and refrain from giving him any money. The next day at the bus stop, as Wade waits for Ryan, he lectures a kid standing beside him about how people form their opinion about you in 5 seconds. The kid lets him know that he thinks he is a dork. Suddenly, Wade sees the sight that he dreads the most. Ryan walks towards him, in the same outfit that he is wearing. The kid laughs at both of them as they blame each other. But they have no other option but to keep it on, because the bus has arrived. At the high school, people make fun of their matching outfits, but they ignore it, knowing there is nothing that can be done about it. Wade struggles with his locker, and a girl named Brooke sees this. She immediately comes up to him, and gently tells him the right way to open it. She leaves, but Wade is spellbound by her beauty. Ryan smiles, knowing his buddy got to talk with a girl on the first day of high school. Things seem to be going their way, but that changes quickly when they see two bullies shoving Emmett, an undersized kid with braces, into a locker. Ryan tells Wade that it's good for them. This means that they wouldn't be the center of attention, but Wade has other plans. Instead of listening to his friend, Wade steps up and demands that the bullies let go of the poor kid. Everyone's attention is now on them, and Ryan slowly backs away from Wade. Seeing this as an opportunity, Emmett runs away, and now the anger of the bullies is solely directed toward them. A bully named Filkins grabs both of them. He lets them know that from this day forward, they will be unfortunately his victims. At their homes, when their parents ask about their day, both Wade and Ryan lie, saying that they had the best day of their lives. Wade's stepfather even high-fives him with happiness. He has always compared Wade with his two sons and thinks that they are better than him. The next day at school, Wade and Ryan mutually decide that today is their first day of school. They'll do things differently this time and will gain back their respect. Ryan encourages Wade to go up and talk to the same girl who helped him yesterday. He hesitantly does so, but only awkwardly stands beside her. Wade joins every club she does and proudly tells Ryan about it. Suddenly, to their horror, they see Emmett walking towards them wearing the same shirt that they wore just yesterday. Despite their efforts of ditching him, Emmett manages to walk beside them and enthusiastically introduces himself. Things get much worse when the bullies see them together. From that day starts the endless bullying, and the nightmare seems to be never-ending. From getting beaten up to getting their pants pulled down, everything terrible is done to them. On the other side, Drilbit gets his stuff taken by the police as he is illegally residing on the city's property. Later, with his other homeless friends, Drilbit optimistically scratches the lottery ticket he bought, but is ultimately disappointed when he doesn't win it. Later, Drilbit walks with one of his friends named Don, and expresses his desire to move to Canada, but needs money to make his dream come true. Drilbit, although doesn't have much, is still compassionate. He sees a man playing some music and decides to give him some bucks. Wade and Ryan have absolutely no idea how to save themselves. To Ryan's dismay, Emmett has also now joined their friend group. All the bullies are now drawn to them like sharks. They try to solve this problem by going to the principal and telling him about what has been happening to them. Unfortunately, what they had thought would be an anonymous meeting turns out to be the complete opposite. Instead, Principal also invites Filkins to defend himself. As he comes in, the trio is absolutely petrified to see him. They urge the principal to involve Filkins' parents, but he informs them that his parents reside in Hong Kong. Filkins acts innocent in front of the principal and apologizes to the boys. The principal believes him, and the meeting is finished. As soon as the trio leaves the school's premises, they are chased by the bullies in a car. The bullies are here to take their revenge. After a long chase, Wade and Ryan hide in the garage of a stranger and Filkins runs off when the owner comes out. They manage to escape, but they wouldn't be so lucky next time. So Wade puts up an ad for the bodyguard. The next day at a local cafe, they interview various men who come for the position, but all of them walk out in anger when the trio tell them that their budget is only $100. When all hope seems lost, Drilbit walks in with style. He sits in front of the kids, and, when asked about his past experiences, he boasts that he was a special ops guy in the army before he was discharged for unauthorized heroism. He pretends to be a martial arts expert, but really is just a homeless beggar. Wade believes him, while Ryan has his doubts. Drilbit urges the boys to look into his eyes, which have seen unbelievable horrors. He glares at the boys and after a long stare, seems to win their trust. They all agree, but the boys only have $83 on them. It's more than enough for Drilbit, so he accepts it and tells them that they can pay him more later. They walk alongside Drilbit, who gives them a false sense of security. They stop in front of Wade's house and Drilbit is surprised at how big the house actually is. Wade welcomes him inside, and Drilbit is instantly wooed by all the expensive stuff the house is filled with. Drilbit keeps the gullible kids busy while he steals random things under the pretense of collecting weapons for the fight. Suddenly Wade's mom comes back. and they quickly help Drilbit escape from the back door. Wade's mom is ignorant of the fact that their home has just been robbed, and asks the boys if they want some sandwiches. Drilbit is at a store to sell all the things he stole from Wade's home. He is ready to leave for Canada with the money he makes by selling this, but his buddy from earlier advises him against it. Don tells him that these kids are his way to great fortune. He can make a lot of money if he keeps up this persona of a bodyguard. The shop owner is only willing to pay $125 for all the things he brought, so Drilbit gives in and instead radios Wade and instructs them to be ready for tomorrow. The next day at the school, the trio eagerly waits for Drilbit to show up and take their revenge. He does, but the first thing he does is take his money and then get into action. He fiercely goes up to Filkins, but instead of doing anything, he just stands awkwardly in front of him without saying anything. Drilbit bides his time, while the boys think that he is talking with him. Nothing much happens, and he returns back. Drilbit informs the boys all about Filkins' physical health, but Ryan cuts him off as he was expecting a fight. Drilbit cleverly tells the boys that nothing good will come out of beating. Instead, he is going to teach them how to fight. Rather than teaching them any skills, all Drilbit does is watch movies with them, eat at restaurants, and play with them. Till their training is completed, the boys avoid the bullies at all costs. Drilbit is beginning to like the boys and feels guilty about stealing from them, but his friend advises him to keep steadfast on this track, and soon he will be in Canada. After one of their mediation sessions, the boys ask Drilbit to teach them something valuable, something that they can use to defend themselves. Instead of giving them the answer they are looking for, Drilbit advises them to instead love Filkins. This shocks them, and at first, they quickly reject his proposal. Drilbit reasons with them that it's the only way to destroy a powerful enemy. He suggests that they find some common interests with Filkins and the other bully named Ronnie. So the next day that's what they do, find commonalities between them and the bullies. They see Filkins rapping, and Wade encourages Ryan to go and rap with him. At first, he is hesitant, but then agrees and walks up to Filkins. Ryan challenges Filkins to a rap battle but gets carried away and unintentionally humiliates him. The crowd cheers for Ryan, but he knows that he messed up and leaves as soon as possible. They are walking away, but the bullies come from the front, and Filkins announces that he is going to make their lives living hell. This time, instead of backing down, the boys use one of Drilbit's techniques. But it backfires, and Filkins punches Wade in the face. Bullies laugh at them and walk off. The boys, beaten and embarrassed, come to Drilbit, who promised them that he would be there when they need him, but instead is found sleeping peacefully. Wade's nose is bleeding and Drilbit tries to wipe it, but Wade pushes his hand away. They are mad at him, and rightly so, but Drilbit manages to calm them down and comes up with another plan. Drilbit is going to pretend to be their substitute teacher, so that he can protect them better. Before going, they give him a makeover, and now he doesn't look like a homeless guy, but a proper teacher. As they walk through the crowded hallways, they nervously glance from left to right, scared that someone might call them out. But to their surprise, everything goes well. The principal joyfully gives Drilbit instructions, thinking he is the new substitute. In the teacher's room, Drilbit meets Lisa, an English teacher, and is immediately smitten by her beauty. They sit on a couch and flirt back and forth when the bell rings. Drilbit has to go to save the boys from the bullies, but he cannot take his eyes off Lisa. In the end, he manages to break free from her hold, and with one last promise of coming back, he runs to save the boys. On the other hand, the trio is completely surrounded by bullies. They look helplessly from left to right in hopes that Drilbit will appear and save them, but there is no sign of him. They have given up any hope and await the calamity, when Drilbit comes through just in time and saves them by activating the fire alarm. The bullies run away, and the three kids salute their unsung hero. From that day onwards, their lives completely change. Drilbit protects them from the bullies, and takes revenge by making the bullies work harder during PE, and even hangs them from the wall. Furthermore, Drilbit starts an intimate relationship with Lisa, and one day, musters up the courage to ask her out on a date. At first, he thinks that she is going to say no, but to his surprise, she agrees. Wade tries to get closer to Brooke by doing anything that is possible. In an Asian heritage club, Wade confesses to Brooke that he only joined the club so he could talk to her. Things go better than expected, and she urges him to come to the club daily. Wade goes to Drilbit and tells him about his little victory. They have a heart-to-heart, where Drilbit grimly tells Wade that his father never believed in him. He wanted to be a doctor, but his father didn't pay for his tuition, and he is here now. Wade calls him a one-man army and then passes him a picture of all three of them together. Drilbit gently smiles as he takes it from Wade. He cannot let his guard down, but all this love from the kids is softening his rock-hard heart. Wade lets Drilbit know that now he isn't alone, and instead of one, he is now an army of 4. Before leaving, Wade thanks him for everything, as their lives are now completely changed. Drilbit stays where he is and contemplates Wade's words. At night, Drilbit takes Lisa out on the date as promised. As they walk the streets, his other homeless friends come out and ask him to spare some dollars. Unwillingly, he gives them all they want, just to keep their mouths shut. Lisa finds this trait of Drilbit attractive, as she genuinely believes that he is giving due to the goodness of his heart, when the reality is the complete opposite. He takes her to the secluded spot, where they can look over the city. The simplicity of the date impresses Lisa and makes her fall in love with him. Drilbit is about to confess and tell her the truth about his true identity when Lisa begins ranting about how she only attracts guys who are losers. She believes that Drilbit is the only guy she ever dated who has a bright future. Hearing this, Drilbit gives up on telling her the truth and instead carries on with the same fake identity. The next morning, as Ronnie's mother drives him to school, he sees Drilbit showering at his usual spot on the beach. Ronnie, surprised by the scene, tells his mother that he is his teacher, but his mother knows Drilbit. She laughs at the mere suggestion and informs Ronnie that Drilbit is actually a homeless guy who begs around the area. Drilbit goes to his homeless friends and tells them that they should postpone their plan of stealing from the kids. His friend Don is absolutely livid when he hears that and tries to convince him to go with the plan, but Drilbit has made up his mind. Instead of listening to anything that Don says, he walks off, determined to not let anyone down this time in his life. At school, Ronnie runs to Filkins and tells him the truth about Drilbit. Now nothing stands in their way. As soon as they see the trio, both of them gang up on them. Drilbit sees the encounter from the window and tries to intervene, but instead is met with a punch from Filkins. Filkins knows he isn't the teacher and isn't afraid of him now. He loudly calls him a beggar in front of the kids, who run from the scene, scared that they might be next in line to get beaten up. Drilbit follows the kids, who are walking away from him in anger. They confront him and inquire about the accusations Filkins put forth against him. Once again, using his charm and words, Drilbit manages to deceive them and makes them believe that he is who he says he is. He emotionally manipulates them by telling them that he only took the beating like a coward because he wanted them to escape. He didn't want them to get hurt, so he sacrificed himself. Once again, the kids believe him and even ask for forgiveness for their behavior earlier. They have reconciled, so Wade offers Drilbit to have breakfast at his place, but when they reach there, they are shocked to see Don and Drilbit's other homeless friends inside, stealing anything and everything. Drilbit panics and tries to stop them, but they aren't willing to listen to anything he says. They have broken into Wade's place and wouldn't leave before grabbing all the valuables. Drilbit unsuccessfully tries to reason with Don, but instead breaks the window and again gets punched in the face. The robbers call Drilbit by his name, and by this time it's clear that they know each other. They leave in a van, and when Wade tries to call 911, Drilbit stops him. The kids have had enough. This time, instead of listening to his lies, they demand that he tell them the truth. Drilbit is left with no option but to come clean to the kids. Drilbit's actual name is Bob. He shamefully confesses that he left the U.S. Army, and the reason he named himself Drilbit is that he hurt his pinky finger in high school with a drill bit, and since then, the kids started calling him Drilbit. The kids look at him in disbelief, with hurt and hatred. Wade always thought of him as his friend and believed that he cared about them, but he betrayed his trust. The boys fire him and tell him to never come back. Drilbit knows there is nothing left that he can do now to win them back, and leaves without much protest. Drilbit calls Lisa and reveals that he is in fact homeless. Lisa had told him earlier that she seems to only attract guys who have nothing going on for them, and that is true. Drilbit is the worst of them all. Lisa cannot even comprehend what Drilbit is saying. Later in his tent, the boys again contact Drilbit through the walkie-talkie that they gave him. He quickly grabs it, thinking that they might want to reconcile, but to his dismay, the only reason they get in touch with him again is to inform him that they are going to tell the police everything. After throwing some more hurtful words at him, they disconnect. Bob takes the van in hopes of selling everything, and during his dealing with the buyer, Drilbit manages to sneak into the van. Don comes back and tries to take back control, but Drilbit warns him that he isn't the same person anymore. Drilbit is willing to fight him, if that means that he can get Wade's things back. Don laughs at him as he knows that Drilbit has no idea how to fight, but Drilbit surprises him when he kicks him in the face. Don falls back, and Drilbit manages to escape with the goods. The three kids gloomily walk on the streets. Wade has no idea how to tell his parents about the robbery. Nevertheless, mustering up the courage, they all walk up to Wade's parents and tell them everything. Panicked, his parents reach home, but when the lights are turned on, they are surprised to see that everything has been returned. The children take a sigh of relief but accidentally blurt out about Drilbit. Their parents take things up with the principal, who calls the parents' meeting. Filkins plays innocent and manages to deceive all the parents with his charm. He equates bullying with hazing and pretends that he only did what he did to make them feel welcome. Their parents absolutely believe Filkins and instead blame Drilbit. They call him names and think that he is way worse than Filkins, who was here only to hurt the innocent children. The principal informs the parents that he has already contacted the police, and they have started looking for Drilbit. The trio tries to defend Drilbit, as he was only here because Filkins wouldn't leave them alone. But all the adults have already made up their minds that, in fact, Drilbit is the bad guy. The principal thinks that the issue is resolved, and everyone congratulates each other, but Filkins glares at Wade from across the room, letting him know that their business is far from over. Drilbit is back to his old routine. He goes to the store and again buys a lottery ticket in hopes of winning something. The guy working at the store calls him a loser as he knows all Drilbit's attempts to win the prize have been nothing but a failure. But this time he surprises everyone when he actually wins the money. It's enough for him to go to his dream country, Canada, and that's where he is headed next. At the school, Wade has made up his mind to ask Brooke on a date. Ryan warns him that this could go south, but Wade is already miserable. There's not much that Brooke's rejection can do to him. He musters up the courage and walks up to her. Brooke smiles as she sees him and Wade nervously tries to start the conversation. But Filkins suddenly comes out and interrupts Wade's attempt at asking her out. Filkins slaps Wade and even insults Brooke. It seems like Wade is going to let it go as he always does, but this time he stands up to Filkins. Instead of backing down, Wade challenges Filkins to a fight. Filkins is amused as he hears this, and announces that everyone is invited to his house tonight to watch the show. Wade made a decision in the heat of the moment, and there is nothing that can be done now. Emmett abandons them as Ryan has always insulted him, and made him feel like he was never part of their group. Now it's only Wade and Ryan. Instead of training, they spend most of their time watching movies and playing video games. In the end, when there is little time left, they train a little by punching each other repeatedly. Before going, both of them leave last notes for their families in case they don't return. They are ready to go into the battlefield. When they reach the venue, both of them remove their shirts, revealing the same outfit they wore on the first day of high school. Drilbit comes to return Wade's mom's silver tray, but instead finds the note Wade left for his mom. At the party, the boys go straight into the kitchen where Filkins has already been waiting for them. Filkins is amazed that they showed up despite everything that he has done to them. He calls them dumb and insults them, which riles them up more. Shockingly, the duo manages to knock him out and celebrate their win over him. But their victory is short, as Filkins soon regains consciousness. They start fighting again, and it feels like the boys might win. But Ronnie shows up to help Filkins against them. Now their chances of winning this war are getting slimmer and slimmer. Emmett, who left them earlier, makes an entry and latches onto Filkins' leg. He causes him a lot of pain and almost defeats him alone, but Ronnie comes to his aid and once again snatches the victory from them. They are almost defeated as Filkins punches Wade repeatedly when out of nowhere, Drilbit comes to their rescue. He orders Filkins to let go of the boys and proclaims that he was hired as their bodyguard and he will do anything to protect them. Filkins laughs at this and punches him in the face. Ryan asks Drilbit to defend himself, but he refuses to do so as he believes that Filkins is a minor. Someone from the crowd reveals that Filkins is actually 18, and that's when Drilbit takes the charge. Hearing this, Drilbit fights back and in 3-2 punches, easily knocks Filkins out. He leaves Ronnie alone as he nervously tells him that he is 17. Police arrive soon, and when Drilbit hears the sirens, he flees. Filkins comes out of his house with a samurai sword and throws it at the boys in retaliation, but Drilbit returns and catches it in time. He has done his duty and saved the boys, but in the process of doing so, loses half of his pinky finger. Ronnie reveals to the police that Filkins actually bullied him and then made him his accomplice. As a result of the whole encounter, Filkins is arrested and shipped off to Hong Kong, where his parents are already waiting for him. Wade asks Brooke out, and she gladly accepts. Ryan has finally accepted Emmett and happily welcomes him to his friend group. Drilbit is taken to jail where everyone seems to like him. He keeps writing the kids letters and is also in touch with Lisa, who accepts him for who he is. Drilbit is released within 3 weeks and is reunited with Lisa and the boys. They are waiting for him at the exit and hug him as soon as they see him. In the post-credit scene, a kid enters the nurse's office and tells Drilbit about the bruises he received. Drilbit asks the student's name and assures him that he will be safer from this day onwards.